I was gonna do a joke. Wait, hold on, but
It's on her. We already started recording.
No.
Okay, now we can do the podcast. To turn on the air conditioner.
Are you wearing a knife pervert t-shirt?
I am. He's probably gonna lose today. He's probably gonna lose his belt to Juice Robinson.
You know who didn't lose their belt today? The England football team.
Hey.
They didn't have a belt to lose. They didn't have a belt to lose. CJ Parker.
So they're in the semifinals. Who are the other ones in the semifinals?
France, Belgium.
Belgium is correct. They play.
Yeah, France, Belgium, Croatia. So we have Croatia next. The winner of France v Belgium will be in the final. Likely France. And the winner of us v Croatia will be in the final, which is a genuine toss-up.
To be honest with you, I almost would be okay with any of the teams that are currently in the semis winning because they're all good teams and they're all really fun to watch. So it's kind of like.
And it's cool that none of them are Brazil or Germany.
Yeah, or Russia.
Yeah. I'm very glad Russia went out because I think they may have been a hard win for us.
As an American, I was just really glad that Russia went out.
Let's see what the prediction is. Okay, the stats and predictions are not yet live for Croatia v England, although we are ranked worldwide higher than they are.
They also that game today was, I mean, much as I rag on the Russian team, that was a phenomenal game between the two of them. So they're going to be tired.
I understand the Belgium-Japan game was maybe the best game of the tournament so far. I haven't watched it.
Japan left a thank you note and cleaned left a spotless locker room.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Which was really cool.
The Japanese fans were staying after the games to clean up the stadium.
Yeah, so awesome. Japan
is great. Speaking of Japan, Andre, how you doing? Podcast.
Is this the start of the podcast?
Cold open. Yeah, it was cold
open. We've already started the podcast because Alex said he'd started recording, so I figured, cold open style. Talk for 3 minutes about the World Cup and then introduce everyone.
This isn't a sports podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 27 of Gaming Fyx. I'm your absentee host, although I did send child support across to my many children.
I never saw a penny.
It was emotional support. I'm your absentee father today. We have also on the line Alex.
Yep.
Andre.
AKA Yuki-chan's Papa's Papa.
Erica.
Hello. We definitely need to be done in the next 2 hours because I have wrestling to watch. So.
And Pat, my best boy.
I could be here all day.
It's already night for me. Cool. Video games are great. I haven't really touched any for 2 weeks because my life is an insane ball of.
Because you just do CrossFit now.
Yeah, but there's a lot of wedding preparation happening at the moment, and I started a new job, and every day seems to be some sort of social event. We have a Wimbledon social with scones and strawberries and cream on Friday and a Wii tennis tournament. And I was like, Wii tennis? Where are we getting a Wii? And the girl who's running it was like, oh, don't worry. I can get a Wii.
And then she can.
Yeah, she's like, oh, and for the prize for the tournament, we're going to be giving away the Wii. And I was like, Wii's probably worth less than the £5 entry fee for the tournament.
Amazing.
Whoa. You get one of those cool red Canadian Wiis.
It's not going to be a red Canadian Wii. It's going to be a second-hand Wii from the shop that I used to work at, CEX, and the controller port flap will be missing. And it'll have a sticker on it that says discounted. So, speaking of video games...
why don't you work in Mario Tennis?
Yeah. I had this really cool idea the other day where we could talk about games in order instead of going through person by person. how does anyone feel strongly against this?
What do
I
you
don't know
mean
what
by
that
order?
means.
So I
Getting
just
games in alphabetical order.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but I just thought it might be fun to go instead of to go, Pat, talk about your thing. It's for me to go, hey guys, what's up with Conan Exiles? Spoilers for Pat's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine.
Solo.
I was listening to some games podcasts this week because I had a lot of time walking to and from places, and was like, this is how everyone else does it. We could try. Anyway.
You should listen to the 2011 Bombcasts where Ryan just randomly switches up the segments, or they bring out dice to decide the segments.
Well, don't give me ideas, Alex. I've already stolen liberally from other podcasts.
Oh, I don't know where my dice are.
What kind of dice are we talking about?
Not a true gamer.
I'm sure Pat has plenty, like, if we need.
Yeah, I have a lot of different dice. The most readily available dice, though, are like custom X-Wing dice, and they don't actually have numbers on them. So,
how did the X-Wing thing go?
Oh, yeah, that thing 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. It was good. I placed 32nd out of, like, around 100 people.
Cool.
So, yeah, felt pretty good. I made it to stage 2. Yeah. Did not fall to the first cut. Yeah, it's good. Now I'm playing the first Imperial list that I've ever played in X-Wing for the next First Tour Championship season.
Do people just not play Imperial?
No, everyone plays Imperial. Not everyone, but a lot of people. Like, Imperials are very fast and dodgy in that game, and I've just never gotten into them because I never wanted to buy them because I always just wanted to buy Rebel ships. But they came out with Director Krennic's ship from Rogue One. It's very cool. Yeah. So that got me over.
Cool. Conan Exiles is a video game.
Yeah.
With a lot of, as I understand it, all I know about Conan Exiles is a lot of ding dongs in it.
Yeah. Do you guys like dongs?
Hell yeah, brother.
Then you'd love Conan Exiles.
Right, let's just talk about ding dongs for a little bit. Like, what's up with them? Are they jiggly or what?
They're a little bit jiggly. They kind of can jump around from like being in the front to being where like you wouldn't expect a dong to come out, like underneath,
like out of your toes or what?
No, like out of your crotch, but like there's like some tucked? Weird. Yeah, sort of. Like there's gifs of people like crouching and then their dongs are sticking out behind them. And it looks like a tail.
That
Real
sounds
talk.
Pretty good.
So like I bought that game in the Steam sale because I've been waiting to get it when it was on sale. I don't typically like straight survival games. Like,
so you got a gay one. Whoa.
Very nice. So I don't typically like stuff like Ark or Rust or anything like that. I liked Subnautica a lot. I like those games when they have some kind of thread that is like just a little bit more than that. And this one kind of, I wasn't sure if it really had that or not, but I've always liked Funcom games in the past, and I like Conan a lot. I've read every Conan story. So I was just kind of waiting on this one because I didn't want to spend $40 on it, and it was down to almost half off in the Steam sale. So I decided to pick it up. The first thing I did, though, in talking about, speaking of dongs, was when you go to play single player, it defaults to no nudity, and the only way to change it is through an INI file. So I spent like a good 20 minutes to make sure I could see my dude's dong.
The important things in life.
Yeah, clearly the important things. That game is weird. I don't know if I'd say it's good, but there's aspects of it that are pretty compelling in that, like, it's just a weird thing. Like the like when you play on servers, like there's a lot of like, oh, this person, like I just see like a pile of nude corpses with a bunch of dongs sticking out and stuff where people have been griefed and things.
This is
and like the progression is really interesting. It's like you can't just build everything out the gate, and I know that this is kind of the case for a lot of these games, but you don't you have to like level up and unlock the ability to build new stuff, which was kind of new to me in survival games, because the last one I looked at was like played like a free weekend of Rust years and years ago. So that was kind of interesting. There's like a stat system, so your health and stamina and stuff can go up over time. And then other than that, it has pretty standard like, oh, you build your house, and then you need to build like a crafting table to make certain things, and then you want to make more stuff. You do this and that. But the thing that that game doesn't really have much of a story. It has a story kind of the way that No Man's Sky had a story did when it launched, in that there's these big obelisks around and monuments around the map, and you can interact with them. And then there's like this ominous voiceover that talks about like the gods forsaking humanity and stuff. Conan's really dark. It's got a lot of like lots of like horrible monsters devouring entire armies of people sent by the gods and stuff.
Is one of them Jay Leno?
I was count it. Time to Conan O'Brien joke. But there's a lot of weird deep cut stuff from the original stories too. Like you can be different races of characters, and a lot of it's stuff that's like pretty deep in the lore of Conan, which is kind of cool. And this is the same team that, as far as I know, made Age of Conan, the MMO. And I don't know, it's still a survival game. It still has a lot of that bullshit. The interface still kind of looks like crap, but it feels pretty good to play, which is usually one of my biggest complaints with those kinds of games. The combat feels pretty good. I would say it's easily on par with like Elder Scrolls-ish kind of combat. I would say even a little bit more tactically interesting, maybe. I was playing today to record footage, and like I didn't even know that I could, but like I targeted like the leg on accident of a monster that I was killing, and it crippled it, which is interesting. So there's all kinds of like location-based effects. There's combos, lots of different kinds of weapons. And then it also has like dungeons and raid content built into the map where you can go down and find specific like mythical gear and stuff like that by fighting really epic monsters. So I don't know. It's an interesting, I don't know that it's made me like, now I'm going to play all the survival games, but I'm definitely not refunding this one. I'm going to continue to check it out because it seems fun and interesting.
You play all of the survival games with dongs in them.
Maybe that's what it really... Maybe the next dong, but I don't want to play Rust. That sounds horrible. And there's dongs in that one too.
How mad were you when you bought the game on the Steam sale and then you looked at the Humble monthly bundle for this month?
Yeah, that was a little infuriating. I mean, it really only is like an $8 difference. I paid around $20 for it, so I'm not gonna.
You get 2 more games.
Yeah, 2 games I don't really care about. I've subscribed to the Humble monthly bundle actually, so I may keep it and give the code away for Conan to get somebody else to try to play it.
That's fair.
Is it kind of like Rust in that like you can build, let's say, a fort or something, and then is that persistent when you're offline? Yeah, so there's a few ways that it's handled. I'm playing on PvE conflict servers right now. There's 3 different kinds of servers, and then you can, if you start your own, you can customize everything. So the 3 different kinds really only apply to official servers. But there's PvE servers, and that's where no players can ever fight each other. You can't attack other people's buildings. If you don't use a building for 6 days, it gets destroyed. Use meaning like if you don't open the door on your house, if you don't like whatever. So there is a mechanic to keep the map from getting littered, but with people's stuff that aren't actively playing. But then PvE conflict servers, which I'm on now, you can't destroy each other's buildings, but there are times when you can fight other players. It'll like open up for PvP, and during that time you can fight other players. As far as I know, when you log off, your actual body is still there in the world. So like you want to log off in a safe place because someone could actually find you and kill you when you're not physically present in the world. That's what it says in like the loading screens and stuff. That seems crazy to me, but that's what it says in the loading screens, which also may be why there's like piles of corpses near the starting area, because people make a character and then immediately quit. because that game has a weird thing. Once you hit the character select or character creation interface, you have to Alt F4 out or make the character. There's no way to join a server and then back out unless you've made a character already. But then there's also full PvP where you can blow up each other's buildings and stuff. There's also on PvE servers, there's a timer for the purge, which is like every couple of days. 4th, right? Yeah, every couple of days, a large NPC force will kind of sweep through the map and attack people's structures. So it's never always the same. Sometimes it could be like a huge pack of wild animals. Sometimes it could be an NPC army of characters or something. So there are interesting ways, even if you're playing PvE, to try to like emulate some of the PvP experience of having to go to war and fight other clans and stuff.
Sounds similar to how they ended the beta for World of Warcraft. I don't know if any of you guys were alive back then, but no, I'm not.
I played in the beta for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but like I always remember how like that basically being the coolest thing that I've ever seen in an MMO, and no one ever really topping it.
It's kind of like that.
For those not aware, they set the Burning Legion on Azeroth, and just like the world was covered with these unkillable giant fire demons, and they just went around killing all the NPCs, killing all the players. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the big caveats, it is sort of like that when the purge happens, though a little bit less impressive. There's a couple of big caveats I have with Conan. One of them is there's no
Andy
like,
Richter?
Huh?
Is it Andy Richter?
One of them is there's no
Max Weinberg.
There's God damn it. I've seen Max Weinberg live. He played drums for Bruce Springsteen's band. Anyway, there's no like NPC settlements. There are NPC like groups of enemies that'll just attack you on site, but there's no like places you can trade or talk to NPCs. I think that's kind of too bad. They were working on that, but they cut it for launch, and they're going to try to implement it. But now that it's out, the other thing is there's no mounts, which the world is super huge and really diverse and interesting, and it kind of sucks that you just have to walk everywhere. I would have really liked to see mounts, but apparently they tried to. That was like a core feature that was going to be a major part of the game, because Conan riding like elephants and rhinos and stuff is kind of a key part of the stories. But their engine couldn't handle players moving above a certain speed. And throughout the early access period, they weren't able to solve the problem. And so then they just put the game out and said, maybe someday. Which seems like a really lame. I mean, I don't like. Seems like a minor thing to get hung up on, but like, part of me is like, dude, I want to ride a like horse or a rhino or something. Like, it's a big part of the Conan fantasy. So that's a little lame, but.
So if you were going to give Conan Exiles a rating between 1 star and 5 star, what do you think you would settle on for the moment?
As of right now, I don't know. It's hard to say because I haven't seen a lot of the like interesting stuff, like the dungeons and things. But probably give it like 3 stars, maybe.
Okay, what about the scale? 1 to Pancake, Bananas Foster being the highest.
But what are the points in the middle?
Scale is 1 to Pancake. Banana Foster's is the highest. What is the score?
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna stick with 3.
Okay.
What about a Belgian waffle?
This is. I can't process this.
It's a very academic school system that Andre's come up with, and I subscribe to.
We'll say an English muffin. How about that?
Is this the scale they use at the International House of Burgers?
Yeah.
I wonder if they changed it. Wait, do they have? I think there's one in Tokyo. I don't know if they changed it here.
The International House of Burgers. It sounds like a pretty scary place to be. Andre, I feel like scary houses are a big feature of Resident Evil 7's DLC.
Hey, that was a good
Could you tell
segue,
us?
Sam. I'm proud of
Actually,
you.
Scary
How about
Houses.
2
Football
weeks
team
off?
makes it to a semifinal, and then he just gets suddenly on with the segues.
There are no
It's coming home, boys.
there are no Scary Houses in Resident Evil 7. That was a terrible segue.
God damn it.
No,
I was
Resident
rooting
Evil
for you.
7
It's not the
is-
houses that make it scary; it's the enemies, the people in it.
it's yeah. I mean,
Very
most of the
true.
houses are kind of creepy. Yeah, so I played a bunch of the DLC for Resident Evil 7 because I had heard it was very interesting and did like some cool stuff. And overall, I'd say that is true. You get to put into there's like 3 or 4 kind of shorter ones, and then 2 like meteor kind of hour-long ones. And so the shorter ones are kind of like Saw-like scenarios. I don't care for like the Saw movies or like the torture porn kind of stuff.
What?
Yeah, sorry.
The first one's real good.
But oh yeah. So one of them, you're like stuck in like this horrible game of blackjack. It's like knockoff blackjack where there's only one of each card. It's like 1 to 11, and there's no doubles. But yeah, and then so like if you lose, then like you're playing against another guy. If you lose, like they chop off a finger. You lose again, they chop off more fingers. You lose all your fingers, you lose. But the problem is, if your opponent loses, he gets back up. He doesn't die. He gets back up, and then you get electrocuted.
I mean, you only lost 10 fingers. It's not fatal.
Only 5, but but if you lose all 5 fingers, you die. So
That seems unfair.
yeah. Oh, but man, it gets real unfair. But yeah, so that whole thing is just like you're playing blackjack for like 3 or 4 rounds, and then they like add on stuff like trump cards, which like you can play one and it'll let you draw like, oh, you can draw the 3 if it hasn't been drawn, or like the 4, or you can double your opponent's bet, so they'll die quicker. So that was pretty interesting and gross, just because like you're watching all these fingers and stuff get chopped off, and the fidelity in that game is high enough that it's unpleasant.
Wait, is it all 5 fingers on one hand, or is it like the pinky finger on your left hand and then your ring finger on your right?
So like the thing, you wake up and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then your hand is like stuck in a thing, like you're getting a manicure or something. And then so like these little guillotines pop up on each finger.
Just like a manicure.
Yeah, just like a man.
So your fingers are like strapped down. So you've only got one hand free to play this blackjack game. Yeah, that was, and in that DLC and the other one, Bedroom, I think it was called, you're playing as one of the characters from the demo, Clancy. I think Clancy is the videographer from the demo, I think. So like the person you play as. And in Bedroom, you're locked in a bedroom and you have to figure out a way to get out without like making the mom suspicious of you. And so like you like get up and you like open drawers and like things, and then you have to put, if you make too much noise, she'll be like, what's that? And you'll have like a minute to put everything back where it was and get into bed and like lock yourself back up, otherwise she'll kill you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that was like a pretty cool like adventure gamey, like, okay, I have to solve all these puzzles, but then like, okay, I have to remember where everything was so I can put it back so I don't get in trouble. So that was cool. Then let's see, I'm trying to think of the other small ones. Oh, there's Jack's 55th birthday party, which is Jack is the dad, or daddy as he's often called in the game. And it's his birthday, and so you have to run around like the levels in the house picking up food and then running back to him and just shoving it in his face.
God,
That's
man.
exactly like my birthday.
Like, well, the whole thing is like the mom made this big meal and he ate it all, but he's still hungry, so you have to go and find more food for him, and like you'll find like pepper or like cheese, and then you can put that on the dishes you find and get bonus points.
The dude knows how to
But-
live.
But while you're running around, and he's wearing like a clown face, like glasses and like a nose, it's weird. So you're running around the house, and you have to like kill enemies to like get bonus time, and or stop the timer, and then run back, and it's weird. You have like a big item box where you can like pull out different items, but the more items you have, the less room you have for food in your inventory. So it's like managing that.
This sounds absurd.
Yeah, it's real wild. There's a like rogue light thing where it's the same. It's like the exact same setup and like enemy layout every time, but you have to find items that are distributed in random boxes throughout the level. And so then you have to like all you start with is a knife, and then you have to get like bullets and guns, and then you have to make your way to the greenhouse and kill one of the bosses from the game, which is one of the harder bosses, I think. So that's like neat, but also it's a pain in the ass. I would have liked it if they had like mixed it up more, and like so like you could end up in different levels and stuff like that. But like I think it's a cool idea. Maybe kind of reminiscent of like the mercenaries modes of the previous games. And then the 2 story deals. Oh, there's also one that is what is it called? Daughters, which is like how everything started for the family. And there's like 2 endings. So that's interesting. And that actually kind of fleshes out and confirms some of my suspicions about the game. About like the story of the main game. Where that family is not as nice as they say. Because there's a point where like, oh no, we're not bad people. But then you read something like, you're not the greatest family. And then the story DLC is 1. Spoilers, you play as Chris Redfield, and you're hunting down Lucas. And it's kind of like Resident Evil 5-y, kind of, in like it's kind of like the action aspect of it, but just in the Resident Evil 7 engine, so it plays better, and you can move and shoot and like actually control your character besides them just being like a walking box. And then and so you're like moving your way through traps and stuff, and like trying to save your teammates, but they all die. Spoilers. But that is very like traditional Resident Evil. Like you end up in like a secret lab and stuff. And then End of Zoe is maybe the most fun one, which I think is what the video playing in the chat or in the feed is. You play as the like brother of the dad. I can't remember his name. I don't know if his name ever actually comes out. Yeah, well, yeah, he plays the uncle.
Uncle Phil, maybe? I don't know.
I don't think so. But so you're trying to save Zoe, the daughter of the family, because she's like some bad stuff's happening to her, and it takes place like kind of in the last half of the last like third of the game, like simultaneously. And he punches everything. Like he doesn't use guns. He punches all the enemies. And you have like you right and I was playing on keyboard and mouse, so you right and left click to like punch with your right and left hands, and so you have combos depending on which order you click in. And so then you can like knock enemies down and then stomp on their head. You pick up these little like effigies, boxer effigies, that give you more strength. They raise your power by like 1% or 5% depending on the one you pick up.
Cool.
You pick up grubs like bugs for your health. And so like you can combine them with chem fluid to make like a first aid thing, or you can just like eat the bug, and then so he pulls out, much like a crunch, pulls out like a giant centipede and eats it first person style. It's gross.
Did I see some wrestling moves in that video too?
Yes, I was about to say. There's like a persistent boss that kind of follows you through, and you have to fight multiple times. in the first fight, or not the first fight, but like the actual first boss fight with him, you power bomb him,
Right.
which is first person power bomb, cool as hell. Yeah, that story kind of goes places. You get like a bionic arm at one point, yeah, that you pick up from like a box that's left by like the army dudes there. That it's there's only one DLC in that whole thing that I haven't played, but everything else seems pretty good. So I hope that they kind of continue doing stuff like that for the Resident Evil 2 remake, and if they make a Resident Evil 8, I'd love to see more stuff like this.
Sounds cool. I can't play any of these games because they're too scary.
Yeah, me too.
You should play in VR, Erica.
Yeah, I was gonna say with all the VR you've been playing.
I
It's
watched
enough.
my ex-housemate play Resi 7 in VR for maybe 10 seconds before I removed myself to another room.
I watched most of that game on a Twitch stream. And I don't know. I've seen a few of the Resident Evil games on Twitch streams, but I watch them like on my phone and like a little far away from my face.
I think the Jack's 55th birthday is like if you just want to like see what that game kind of feels like. It's not very scary, like the monsters are there, but they just kind of like blah, and then they have like baseball helmets and like little hats on.
The thing watching that game, from what I've heard about it too, like and this may be totally off base, but the opening parts of that game are like way scarier than the rest of the game.
Yeah, like the first the first areas, like 3 areas, are way scarier than like the second half of the game.
After you get through the first real big boss fight with the dad, I think it is, or whatever, like when you're in the basement, my understanding is it gets a lot easier to play from a scariness perspective after that.
Yeah, you're talking about like the chainsaw one?
Yeah,
for sure.
That's kind of kicks it off into like being more crazy and less scary. Whereas prior to that, because like what I saw of it seemed way too scary for me too. When you're like getting stalked by him in the house, that's the kind of stuff I don't like because it's too scary. Like that's why I didn't play like Outlast and stuff. But I've heard that after the chainsaw fight, it kind of tends to trend more towards classic Resident Evil territory.
Mm-hmm.
I've never liked any Resi games purely because too scary, big wimp.
I never found any of the other ones that scary, but 7, the beginning stuff seemed way beyond what I could handle.
It's very intense, but
have any of you played it in VR?
I wouldn't.
No VR
there's no way
console.
I would do that. I do intend to play it someday after they remake 2 and 3, and I can play 1 through 6 on a modern machine in 10 years, which by then it won't be able to do that anyway. But whatever. Keep the dream alive.
Yeah, you never know. While we're on the topic of VR, I believe we can make the right kind of music and talk about Rock Band VR.
Yeah,
Now
sure.
you're just trying too hard.
I thought of the joke. I thought of the reference 2 minutes ago. I was trying to work it and I couldn't be bothered.
So Rock Band VR is probably I'm like, in terms of VR experiences I've had, I would put it right up at the top. It is like Google Earth and Rock Band VR, like the 2 like top things I've done in VR now. It's really good. I'm gonna try to explain what makes it so good, but like I don't think I can speak intelligently about music, so I'm gonna do my best. I would really like to see Alex maybe play this game sometime in the future because it's like, I would like to see somebody who knows what they're talking about like talk about this game, because it's very different than regular Rock Band. I mean, you can play regular Rock Band in the game. They have that option. But it's it's like impossible to fail as far as I know, because you kind of just play what you want to play, and somehow they figure out how to make it sound good. And I don't know how, I don't know what they do in this game that makes it all sound good, but it's kind of more about like your ability to play chords instead of like individual notes. And so you just keep making like these chord shapes on your guitar, and it just, I don't know, it figures it out for you. But
Are you playing songs or are you playing is it like more like freestyle kind of play whatever you want?
you're playing songs, like it's
Okay.
like, like there's, like I was playing a Fleetwood Mac song, but like y- you're playing whatever notes you want, I guess.
Huh,
But I mean,
interesting.
it's not whatever you want, because they do have specific sounds that they have predetermined for each song, for like this chord in this, if you play this chord in this measure, that way it'll play that sound. But like I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's like kind of a hard game to describe.
Sounds like it's similar to the way that solos and freestyle sections were done in Rock Band 4, maybe. Because
Yeah.
that was a thing there. Like when it came to a solo, you could have it set for custom solos, and then you could kind of like noodle around on the buttons with chords and buttons, and it would kind of play up and down scales, and make it sound good. But it just sounds like maybe they've like taken that to like a full song instead of just being those specific segments. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, they have like instead of like the highway, there's like a kind of just a whole bunch of bars like in front of you talking about oh, Xavier just handed me notes. He said each chord shape is a different chord type. There's muted, power, I can't say that word. Arpeggiated, octave, and bar. But yeah, so he's put a lot more time into it than I have at this point. But it's like the instead of having like the normal like highway type of thing that's like it's like there's like a measures above the crowd. And you're just like on stage playing this song, and you can create chord combos, and that's how you get a good score. Is I like, if you're going to play this game, I really highly recommend playing the tutorial, because it's really helpful, and it's one of those things where you can have a much better time if you know what you're doing, kind of. But it's really cool. It's definitely the most immersive thing I've ever done in VR. Like when I was playing it for the first time, I was naked. And then I took off the VR set and I put clothes on because I was that uncomfortable. It was that immersive, and I felt like there were people really there. Like,
Amazing.
so,
Do you
like,
think? Sorry, do you think this is?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask. Do you think this could only work in VR, or is it something that could work in like traditional ways too?
I think you would have less fun with it if it wasn't in VR. For me personally, like, it's one of those things where you're deciding what it's going to sound like, so it could potentially be more embarrassing, and you could feel a little more dorky if people were watching you and can hear what you're doing than in VR. But the VR is really just so good in this game that I think if you have the opportunity to play, I guess you can only play it in VR right now, but if that changes, I highly recommend the VR. It's really, really good. Like, the crowd makes really aggressive eye contact with you, which is why I put on clothes. And the like the drummer and stuff like that will talk to you a little bit. You have to like look over at him to start the song, and it's just really well done. And the crowd gets more excited if you're doing well. And there's during the like the freestyle solo parts, there's like sparks that shoot out of the end of your guitar, and you can like hit the people in the crowd, and it actually kind of has like a reaction. And you can like hit you can hit like some of the drums, and it'll make sounds and stuff like that. It's really cool. It's well done. It's really like I don't have enough good things to say about it. It's really, really cool. And there is the option to play regular Rock Band if you want to in that
That's
game
cool.
too, which is
That's
nice.
good.
And the only difference is it's still like the same thing, but you can kind of look down at your guitar if you want to while you're in VR. So it's definitely has still like the VR aspects of it, but you could still play regular highway like VR.
That's cool.
Rock Band.
It's kind of like it's a casualty of the fact that they need to stop. We need it only works on Oculus. It only works with an Oculus Touch. You can't do it with Vive, which is disappointing because I was looking at it if it's just $50 for a guitar controller, I could totally see ordering that and hooking it up to the Vive. But I have a Vive. I'm not going to buy an Oculus just to play in VR.
Yeah, they make you put like a weird loop on the back of your guitar, and then you stick the touch controller inside of that. Yeah,
I think it's Les Harmonix' fault. I don't necessarily blame them. If that's the system that works better and that they got the deal with, then you can't blame them. But just goes to show that it kind of sucks that an already small user base gets split by stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there not? Is it only you can go from? You can play Vive games on Oculus, but you can't play Oculus games on Vive still?
Generally, but in this case, it's more of a hardware limitation because you need that connector that clips onto the guitar. I'm sure that there's probably people that have jerry-rigged ways to play it with the Vive, but I don't have the patience for that. I just want to put the headset on and go. And it's only officially supported by Oculus.
Right. So it'd be kind of like having a Wii version versus a PS3 version using a Wiimote versus a Move controller.
Yeah.
But if you have an Oculus, the game itself is I think $40. If you have a Rock Band 4, I think I don't know if it has to be a Rock Band 4 controller.
I think it does. I was just looking
it does
at it.
though.
Yeah.
But if you have one of those laying around, it's definitely worth the $40. I don't know if it's worth, buying one of those. I don't know. Maybe it is worth buying one of those if you already have an Oculus. I'm not saying go out and buy an Oculus to play this, but it's really good. It's really, really cool. It's it rewards you for dumb things like headbanging during during what do they call it when God, I can't remember now in Rock Band when you tilt your guitar to have bonus points. What?
Whammy? Well, star power.
No, when you star power, is that the overdrive? Overdrive
is what it is in Rock Band. Star power.
Yeah, star power is
our hero.
Yeah. So if you headbang with the VR headset on to the beat of the song, it will extend the overdrive longer. And it's just a lot of really cute little touches that they put in there that make you feel super cool, but you would look like the biggest dork playing this in front of anybody else.
So if you're playing a Who song, do you get extra points for throwing your guitar through the drum set?
I haven't tried to do that. But I have gone over to the drummer and kind of tapped it with the edge of my guitar and stuff like that, and it has an effect. It definitely does stuff.
I hear drummers love that.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really well done, really immersive. The crowd is hella creepy, but in a good way. So they just really look at you with this weird dead smile, but they're into what you're doing, but they really make really aggressive eye contact the whole time. But I don't know. I can't recommend it enough. It's really, really good.
Like that.
Is that a goat on stage?
Sorry. Yes, it is.
Sorry, I'm watching the footage, and all of a sudden there's a goat headbanging.
Yeah, there's different story sections, which I think have different venues, and you kind of in the main menu, which is kind of just a room that you travel around by hitting the whammy bar, by looking in the direction you want to go and hitting the whammy bar, and one of the sections is a goat section.
Good, strong.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So speaking of moving on to the next video game.
Tired over there?
You don't have anything for goats?
Well, I am the greatest of all time.
Oh.
Thanks, everyone.
God.
I'm glad no one disagreed like straight away.
You said you weren't talking about games. You didn't play anything, I thought.
I didn't really play anything, no. But last week I played some stuff, and I thought that because it was something that Pat also wanted to talk about, and I know that most of us have actually given it a shot, we might talk about Octopath Traveler for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So
That game is good.
So I feel like Andre and Alex have different opinions to that game is good. How do you boys feel?
You mean Pat? You mean Pat? Who? What? Alex? Alex play Octopath? I'm confused.
I played
Alex
I played that 3-hour demo. I never got the real game.
That's not out yet.
Well, the real game's not out yet. Okay, so you played the most recent demo.
That's what I've played too.
Yeah. I came around on it by the time I finished it, but I just like the early going on some of those stories is so slow.
Oh, it's slow. Yeah, you'll get no arguments from me there. Some of the dialogue seems stupid too, but
yeah.
Once I saw that they speak differently in different areas, I felt less negative on. So I started with the hunter, and they say like Olden and Doth and Ye and stuff, and I was like, this is fucking dumb. I don't know if I can do this for a whole game.
There are some Old English words that I don't think are Old English words in
No,
there.
yeah. But that's just that community talks like that. So once I got out of there and I saw that the rest of the world doesn't communicate that way, I actually take it more as a joke than I think that they're saying it's talking like that seriously. If you played Bravely Default, there's a lot of humor in it. And I almost think that way of speaking is supposed to be humorous.
Yeah. So you started with who did you start with, Alex?
Hunter.
Oh, okay. Who was your second character? Which way did you go? North or south?
I went north, but I don't remember what the character was. But
Ophelia.
Oh, okay. Did you know that whatever character you start with is in your party for the entire game?
Yep.
So apparently you have to really like the first character because you can never take them out for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Huh. I like my first character. He's okay. I picked Cyrus, the scholar.
Yeah, it was a tough choice between him and the hunter.
I really enjoyed his opening storyline. I on the contrast, I thought it went really quickly. I was basically done and leaving town within the hour.
Yeah, I think it feels slower than it really is. I don't think it takes more than an hour to get through any of the opening dialogue.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I was like, come on, okay. I think it's like the text scroll speed, especially in like the narrative parts, not just like the exposition. Where it's just like
always turn it up to the fastest.
But even when it's just like the static screen and then like text appearing on it, those are always so slow. It seems like I thought I turned up the text speed. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I went from Ophelia. I went down to the hunter and then down to the thief. And I thought the thief was pretty neat.
I'm in the Ophelia stuff. I have a little bit of time left, but I kind of have been taking it a little slow, so I probably won't have time to go do a third one. Because it's the prologue caps you at 3 hours, and I'm over 2 hours and not done with Ophelia's story yet.
I'm about 90 minutes in.
Let me go a little over 3 hours, like enough to finish. It was enough to let me finish like the thief's like intro.
Cool.
But like there's a boss for that area
or something.
Maybe like I could have kept playing if I didn't save, I guess. But then you can't save.
So. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they seem like they're doing the prologue timer stuff smart in that like nobody's gonna try to play that far without saving, like.
Yeah, well, because apparently, like you can like restart it whenever, and you can just like if you like figure out what stories you like, you could just like speed run through all the stuff.
Yeah,
skip the dialogue and then get as far as you can without. I don't know.
There are areas that are locked out of the prologue, though. Even if
it probably doesn't let you go past like or start chapter 2 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got this one coming in the post next week. I'll definitely play it, but it's coming the same day as Captain Toad. So that's kind of the difficult choice because I never played Captain Toad and I've played 90 minutes Octopath Traveler. So
I don't want to like cut off Alex's point or anything on it if you weren't digging in as much, but it seems to me that Octopath kind of fills a similar space that Bravely Default does to me. I played a ton of Bravely Default. I didn't actually finish it because it was super long, but I loved what I played. That team seems to make games for people that don't play a lot of JRPGs, because that's totally me. I like have the nostalgia and have the like. I want to say I like JRPGs, but then every time I try to play one, I go like, and I play it for 2 hours and then I drop out of it. And they seem to hit this formula. Like, I love anthology stories, so I'm really excited because I feel like with the way that this game is structured, I could play through a character's story and maybe not finish the overarching narrative, but feel like I like had a good time with the thing. And it seems less daunting, I guess, than the idea. Like I've been sitting on Xenoblade Chronicles for months and like haven't started it really earnestly because I know it's just going to be like a 200 hours. That's an exaggeration, I know, but like 100-hour thing. So the idea of a game like Octopath is really appealing. And then when you pair that with like it's really gorgeous and the combat is nothing special, but it's something like it's solid. Just clicks really well, I think. But I could see how like if you're playing a lot of those kinds of games, maybe it wouldn't offer enough.
Sorry, I had to defend the flowers from my cat. This little guy, he looks cute, but he's actually loves eating the flowers that people buy for his mother.
This is a good podcast.
Yes, it's a really good audio podcast.
Yeah, what woke me up this morning was my cat crawling on my face and chewing on my beard.
Oh,
Good snack.
yeah. At least he's semi-behaving himself. They used to go mental at like 10 o'clock. So like 10 o'clock would roll around and they'd be like, right, time to chase each other everywhere, all over the house, up and down, over people.
Oh no, he just fell.
He's a real stupid cat.
Nobody can see this.
Yeah.
So did you have thoughts on it, Alex? I don't know if there was.
Not really.
Okay.
Like, I didn't get that much deeper than the last time we talked about it, so.
Okay. I'll definitely play it. I
think I'm going to play it too.
Most of the reason being that I really think their demo was great. Like, they gave us 3 hours. They let us carry it over into the real game. Like, that's kind of all I want from a good demo.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. They seem very confident in the product, and like I like Bravely Default a lot, and I don't know. I like what's going on with the combat. It's simple, but not. It has something more than just buttoning through everything.
Dan Reichert loves it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually tend to
usually
the games that he likes. I usually also like. A lot of stuff he doesn't like, I think he's crazy for, but at least the stuff that he does like, I usually think is good. So
it doesn't have lasers in space, and you don't fight robots, so it's okay.
You don't know that. You've only played 3 hours of that game.
That is true.
It's actually a Chrono Trigger spiritual sequel.
If you fight robots in space with lasers, I will be very into that.
If this is Frog Factions 3.
Frog Factions 3 is already out.
Octopath Traveler.
I'm on the fence about whether or not I want to play this game. I feel like I don't want to. Yeah, I should.
I kind of went back and forth on whether or not I was even going to bother with the prologue, to be honest. Like, for a long time, I was like, I really like Bravely Default, but I don't have time for this shit, and I have a big backlog of stuff, and I can't stick with anything right now anyway. And
yeah.
The thought that you go, I could not play the first 3 hours of this game now because I don't have the time, or I could not play, or I could play the game later. It's still, I don't know. It's
The
just
thing is that I do have the time. Really, it's
Yeah,
just that
yeah.
I'm having a hard time being like locked in by things.
oh,
Like I
yeah,
started
no, for
Yakuza
sure.
0 and played that for a few hours and really liked what I was playing, but it just didn't like I didn't continue to play it, and
Yeah,
that's just the story of my life recently. So
I've been the same. I haven't been able to. Nothing's like grabbed me so much where I'm like, oh, I have to
Yeah.
finish this in a while.
I feel like that's also happening to me, but I feel like it's because of this podcast. I feel like I have to bring something new every week, so I can't play something that's going to take me more than
no,
the
y'all ain't
time.
holding me back.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't plan on bringing something new every week once Spider-Man comes out. You're going to hear about swinging physics for a month.
I mean, I could be talking about like Tom Clancy's The Division, but
A very good video game.
I have been like plugging away at like some games that are gonna take a lot longer, like Danganronpa. But I'll get there eventually. When I finish it, I'll bring it.
I started the second one. I got to the first save point and I turned it off. I haven't gone back. But that was like I started immediately after the first one. So I was like, I don't need another
Yeah.
40-hour.
I mean, I still play like 2 or 3 games of Overwatch at least a week, so we could talk about Overwatch.
I
I
just
mean,
started Hollow Knight.
I want to
There's
play
no-
that too.
There's no the one game that I have played this week. Well, 2 games I've played this week is I've played a load of Fortnite. I've played like a match or so every day, and I've played like any days when I've not been watching stuff on the train. I've played like 90+ minutes of Lumines, which
What?
Of what?
What?
oh how are you supposed to actually pronounce it?
Luminous?
Lumines. Okay, Lumines. I played.
What?
Okay, so when I was at university in my first year in 2004, Lumines came out, and I didn't listen to podcasts. Nobody says it in the game, so none of us knew how to pronounce it, and we all called it Lumines, and that's just stuck.
Enough.
So
You were in college in 2004?
yeah, it's my first year. I'm old, Erica. Jesus
I
Christ.
was
in
11.
8th grade.
That would have been my last year of middle school.
Okay, cool.
My first year of middle school.
I was in high school.
I mean, I was almost in high school. I mean, technically, if it makes you feel better, I wasn't in high school at all because I homeschooled. So, like, I wasn't in any school ever until like college. I don't think it makes
Games.
you feel better.
That's why I'm 32 years old. Leave me alone.
You're a dad. That's why
Yeah.
you make such bad jokes.
Yeah, I make bad jokes because these are funny amongst my peers.
Oh my god.
What I'm gonna see if I can get my best man to record my wedding speech because it's pretty good. There's a
You talk
Borat
about-
themed visual aid.
Oh no! Don't ruin your own wedding.
Hey, if anyone's gonna ruin the wedding, it should be him.
That's a fair
Yeah.
point. Well, really, it should probably be his fiance.
Well, I
It's
think
team
she's got a
effort.
vested interest. But yeah, so the only other thing I've been playing is Lumines. But I thought that I was shit at Lumines, and then I've heard a lot of people talking about they're like, oh, I'm really pleased to get to their first hour game. And the first game I played of Lumines Remastered, I played for about an hour and 40 minutes.
Who dies in Lumines?
It's easy to die past the like hour and a half mark, I feel like, because basically after an hour and a half, everything is like triage.
I haven't played it since the first one came out, but I remember back when that one came out, it very much seemed like it wasn't that it was hard to beat the game, it was that you needed the score. It was all about the
Yeah.
score.
I've never
never-
played it, but I bought it and I haven't touched it yet.
That's good.
I have the
It's
phone
one of the best
version.
music puzzle games ever.
It's decent on phones. That's the only place I've played it though. Touch controls are but
It's really good on Switch because of the segmented D-pad. I find that amazing for Tetris-style puzzle games.
How do you feel about the Rumble?
Oh, I turned that shit off like instantly. Like maybe
But-
30 to 40 seconds into Shining. I was like, nah, let's
How
go.
many balls are in your Lumines?
God knows. Not enough. Too many. You know what we could do though? We could move swiftly on to the next segment, which is the triumphant return of the quiz.
Did Alex get to talk about anything?
I didn't play anything. I watched a lot of anime and watched some streams.
Yeah, that's fair.
How was your anime?
It's good. It's really good. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
I saw a clip from Hina Matsuri when I watched the Giant Bomb anime
That
panel.
show was so good.
It was the clip where he spins her around and slams her foot into the wall.
Yep, and he breaks her leg.
God.
Yeah, she's like having a super great day, and they're like both really happy, and then he's like, "Yay, spin, 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 slam." And then she's in the hospital. It's great.
I watched an anime. I watched a movie.
A movie.
I saw Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh, that's a cute movie.
That was so good. It was really, really good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, if you're one of our 5 listeners and you are really good at React and music and also C++, we're hiring. Because please help, we're so busy.
So that's right. Fyx is hiring.
Yeah,
I'm not good at any of those things.
Warframe is coming.
I'm
to
learning,
Switch
but
again.
I'm not good at
Whoa.
any of them either.
Warframe is coming to
Yeah,
Switch.
that's
What?
kind of hot breaking. Warframe's coming to Switch.
Weird.
I'll play that.
I would play that on Switch totally.
Yeah, sure.
I would, if I could, maybe import my account from my PlayStation.
You probably will not be able to. So
Yeah, I think Sony are not going to let you do that.
thankfully, I have a
I'll just-
separate Warframe account for PC from when it came out on PS4. So
Well, hopefully you haven't logged into PS4 because apparently, the whole Fortnite thing too.
yep.
Let's move to the
Okay,
quiz.
let's-
If everyone's
let's-
okay with that.
Let's let Sam go to bed.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise,
Question
you won't have
one.
And Erica has to watch wrestling.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I have to eat
exactly.
dinner too sometime before that.
I'm gonna
Can't-
drink more
can't
beer.
eat and watch wrestling at the same time. You have to wait at least 30 minutes.
What did Famitsu give Octopath Traveler?
I know the answer to this one.
They score their games. There are 4 judges, and each of them scores 1 to 10. And they add
They
that score
drop the
together.
lowest score? Do they drop the lowest score?
Is that, no, do they have
No,
5? And I don't know.
No, they do not drop the lowest score.
Okay, so 4 judges.
4
Out of 4,
judges.
okay.
So it could be anything from 4 to 40.
Yep.
Okay.
So, is it A, 36? Is it B, 40? Is it C, 30? Answers, please. 3, 2,
Oh.
1. You're all right. It is
Hey.
A36.
Hey.
I don't think anyone actually pays attention to what Famitsu gives games anymore.
They
No,
don't.
they do not.
But
No one cares. I
feel-
don't even care. I just happened to Google Octopath
I-
Traveler and saw that.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it just
if-
came up on my Twitter.
I feel like if they had given it a 40, that would have been a news story.
Well, didn't they gave Breath of the Wild a 40? I think, and that was like,
Yeah.
They also didn't they give like Skyward Sword or something?
yeah, they gave
Score?
something else a 40 that was definitely not a 40. Maybe not even a 40 out of
Breath of the
100.
Wild.
Ooh.
Wow.
Skyward
Well,
Sword is a good game.
Yeah.
It's a
We have a
decent game.
trend of people on this podcast being wrong today, so
Question
Oh,
2.
no, they probably gave Wind Waker a good score. That was their
Oh,
mistake.
God,
I
fuck.
was
God damn it.
Sam's
I
the
was
only
gonna
person that
say-
hasn't pissed me off today.
going to say the trend of people getting things wrong in this podcast when we've asked one question in the quiz and everyone got it right.
No, but Alex said bad things about Star Wars earlier.
I mean, Darth Icky is pretty dumb.
To be
Question
fair, he
2.
said it in confidence to me, and I shared it. Sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
Wang is the first euphemism for penis said in the Conan Exiles episode of Monster Factory. True or false?
I don't remember.
The fuck?
Wait. Okay, can I get the question one more time?
The question is, Wang is the first euphemism for penis said in the Conan Exiles episode of Monster Factory. True or false? A is true, B is false, as always.
I don't. Has everyone on the show even seen that?
I've seen an episode of Monster Factory, but not that one.
I've seen that one probably 12 times, but I still don't remember the answer to this question.
One of you guys just friggin' activated my phone. What sounded like
it was Wang. It was the word.
Apparently, my phone was just listening for Wang.
Listening for Wang is my new indie post-hardcore project.
Hey, Wang. Set a reminder.
Okay, let's get your answers in 3, 2, 1. Everyone who said false, you are correct. So
Yes, they said.
Andre.
Is it that they say donger? I think they say donger.
First of all, the question was going to be how many seconds into the video do they say a euphemism for penis? But it was like 30 seconds and it didn't seem that fun.
Sounds like my wedding night.
I do like that you picked that question about Conan Exiles when there's been enough Conan Exiles news over the past few weeks that like you could have picked an actually interesting question about the game.
Shots fired.
No. That wasn't a sarcastic I like that you picked that. That was a genuine I like that you picked that question over a real one.
You're describing every single quiz question that Sam has created.
You're going to love question 5.
What is the Open Critic score?
For Diddy Kong Racing.
That's too old. What was Harmonix's first game? Is it A, Frequency, B, Amplitude, C, iToy Antigrav? All 3 games developed by Harmonix. Just which one was first?
Sorry, what were A and B?
A is Frequency, B is Amplitude, C is iToy Antigrav.
Famitsu did give Wind Waker a 40 out of 40, and that is too high.
I will even give you that that's probably too high.
Like a 38 out of 40.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
This damn question.
In 3, 2, 1. Everyone who said A, you get a point, which is everyone.
Yay.
I had a demo disc that had Frequency on it.
Great game.
You got to make a free queue.
Any of y'all support that Kickstarter?
I got the Amplitude Kickstarter. I played a lot of that game when it first came out and then was like, I'm done.
I bought it after it came out, but I didn't get the Kickstarter.
I seem to think I don't like rhythm games, but I'm apparently wrong a lot. I keep bringing them to this podcast.
I don't like rhythm games, so I don't like anime.
That Amplitude remake was a little disappointing, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But
yeah,
Frequency is a fucking killer. Frequency has great music in it.
I wanted to bring back the Rock Band PSP game, Rock Band Unplugged. That was like the coolest fucking game because it was just Amplitude with great licensed music.
Yep.
Question 4. What's the name of the main character in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard? Is it A, Ethan Summers? Is it B, Ethan Springs? Or is it C, Ethan Winters?
Shit.
This is a good question with good answers.
That is a good one. I like it.
Thank you, everyone.
Knowing my record on this podcast, I'm going to get this wrong.
Can you repeat them?
Yep. So the A, Ethan Summers, B, Ethan Springs, C, Ethan Winters.
Okay.
Okay, let's get your answers in 3, 2, 1. Everyone who said C, you're correct. It's everyone except Erica.
I'm wrong.
Was that the end?
Oh, final question. That was a good question, though. I was proud of that one.
Yes.
I did think that everyone would get that wrong because the name's so forgettably boring. What did Griffin and Justin call their Conan Exiles character? Is it A, Barry Beepis? Is it B, Got a Wang? Is it C, Jefferson Tailpipe?
my god.
God, I hope it's that one.
If you look up Monster Factory Conan Exiles, somebody has done a TLDR Monster Factory Conan Exiles, and it's just like a picture of a Conan character on a cross, and Griffin's going, "Oh, where's his penis?" And he just clicks something, and he goes, "Oh, there it is," and then the clip ends. It's like 6 seconds. So let's get your answers in 3, 2, 1. Everyone who said Jefferson tailpipe, you are correct.
Yay! I'm so happy. Mostly, I wasn't sure Sam was funny enough to come up with that on his own.
I'm extremely funny enough, I'll have you know.
But also, Barry Beepus totally sounds like something the McElroys would make up.
Oh yeah.
You can see for the listeners at home, Sam's cat is eating the flowers again.
Evil cat. Sorry about that. So thank you for listening, for attending the podcast.
We should just do this video with described video of Sam's feed at all times, such as the giant cat butt right now.
Yeah, I think that's a positive way for us to. We should do another show.
Yeah, it's just cat butts.
Just call it Cats of Fyx, and just
That's
a video show of cat butts.
There's a lot of
Kickstarter.
cats between all of us, I'm pretty sure.
There really are.
Kickstarter stretch goal.
Hey,
is,
just don't eat my laptop.
audio descriptions of the video.
Speaking of doing another show, Erica and I now do another show.
Oh yeah, we do.
So we started doing Comic Book Fix. It's out every Wednesday. We did one episode, and next we're going to do another one. We definitely are.
We don't know what we're going to talk about yet, right?
We're talking about Captain America.
We are talking about Captain America? We decided that?
Captain Puerto
Well, I
Rico.
finished reading it, and I feel like it's good.
Okay.
If
I'm up for it.
Yeah, Ta-Nehisi Coates, I don't know if I pronounced that right or not, is now the new writer on Captain America, and the book is really good. So I would really recommend the read of it, and we're going to talk about it properly on Tuesday, released on Wednesday.
And that's the fallout from him being a
Secret
fascist,
Empire,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. I saw a headline about it. That's about it.
Yeah, I totally give that book a read. If you've got your spare $2.99 or whatever, would recommend. We're also I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about the sport anime turned into a comic that I've been reading. CC Alex.
Did you say spore?
Sport.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
I heard spore as well.
Oh, sorry everyone to disappoint you.
I don't care anymore.
It's an extremely queer sport anime comic about fencing. It's called Fence. It's very good. The writer is called the artist is called Joanna the Mad.
I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one.
Oh yay!
Get out.
So I've been Sam Harrison this week. You can find me online at SGCH on pretty much everything. Alex, people can Google you, I understand.
Yeah, totally.
You applied for his job.
Go to LinkedIn and search for AudioWorks. We're accepting applications now.
Sweet. I hate LinkedIn with a fiery passion. I have to do it all the time for work. It's the worst. I deleted all the horrible, weird salespeople that keep trying to add me, though.
Oh, I keep getting a lot of those, too. There's a dude who wants me to move to the island he lives on. He keeps messaging me. I'm like, ooh, maybe not.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
so more stream than I get.
Yep. That's what being a lady is like on the internet.
Yeah.
Wait, is it
LinkedIn the new Tinder?
Wait, is it an island as in like he owns a private island, or is it like Malaysia?
It's not Malaysia, but I don't remember what island it was. It was an island that I had heard of, but never heard anyone living there before, if that makes sense.
Is it Liberty
it's
Island?
Mull Europe.
I'm looking it up now.
Is it the
Staten Island?
The Faroe Islands?
I don't know.
Madagascar.
The Isle of Man.
No, people TT on that. They live there.
Canary Islands.
I've been to the Isle of Wight. It's nice there.
I'm checking my LinkedIn messages right now to let you know where it was.
Just keep naming
Okay.
islands then.
Okay, where can people find you? On an island?
You can find me on Twitter, which is kind of like an island where everyone, billions of people parachute onto a social media feed on Twitter.
It's the Isle of Man.
Oh wow!
Oh,
You're right.
I think I've been there.
Yeah, but yeah, you can find me at Coolslaw COOLSL4W. That's I'm AKA Yuki-chan's Papa's Papa, coming at you.
And Erica, where can people find you on LinkedIn?
Please don't find me on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get a job. Unless you want to hire
find
me
you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, unless you want to hire me, then you can find me on LinkedIn. But yeah, other than that, I have another podcast called Tempered Expectations. You could also find me on Comic Book Fix now with Sam. And you can find me on Twitter at Erica, spelled AIREHCUH.
Cool. And Pat?
Find me at JesterPC and at gamingandconfidence.com.
Excellent. Cool. Comic Book Fix is going to be broken out into its own feed just because otherwise this episode will be up for like 1.5 days and then ours will go up for the rest of the week. And I feel like, keeping it separate allows both episodes to breathe a little.
You'll be separate but equal.
Yes, exactly. So just search for us on your podcatcher of choice and maybe that will work. Apparently we can submit our podcast to iTunes once we have 5 episodes because a friend of mine did that. So maybe not iTunes, Spotify. Maybe we should do that because I know a lot of people listen to podcasts on Spotify now.
Yeah, the cool kids use Spotify.
Yep,
for podcasts.
we have been submitted to there. Don't worry.
Oh,
Harrison
you
versus
they-
Ford
Oh.
podcast.
They just don't get back to us very quickly.
Excellent. All right. So we will speak to you all next week. And next week is the last week before my wedding. So I may have some games to say. I may even not be able to attend. But yeah.
Next week's my birthday.
Oh,
Nice.
Aw.
we
Happy
should do
birthday.
something.
Excellent.
Sorry.
have cake.
Yeah, we should. We should have a cake.
I'll get a cake and ship each piece around the world to everyone on the show.
Ooh, yes.
Mm.
I mean,
Anyway.
Sam has to send pieces of wedding cake to us.
Yep,
You can
exactly.
have as much fruitcake as you want. You can have a lot. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll speak to you next week. Bye.
Wrestling.
Wrestling,
Video games and comic books. Podcasts.
Cat butts.
Star Wars. It's good.
Cat dog.
Alex is wrong.
Alex, did you say cat dog?
No, I said cat butts.
Oh. I thought we were just starting to
Thanks.
slowly transition
No.
into the dream of the Cat Dog fan cast that I've been trying to get off the ground for 3 years.
Cat Dog Rewatch podcast.
Bye.
Bye.